Hello there and welcome back. This is Russell Emery, aka EM Fresh for Fresh to the Extreme. And right now, I'm getting my legs warmed up for our ride up the Pinnacle Mountain in Erwin, Tennessee. It's about a 1,700 foot climb, pretty much straight up. There's a few 10, 20 foot flat places. Uh, and in the view there, you'll see there on the right there in the blue shirt, that's Roger. And I'm going to be sandwiched in the middle here. The front guy there with the little rainbow logo is Larry. These are two of my best friends here, who I ride with a lot. So as we see here, we're heading up the main trail here, and be sure to make that first left right there. We were trying to figure out which way to go. I think they rode here before. I think it looks a little different, they were telling me.
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Okay, so we're headed up. I'm not going to be first because this is my first time here.
Okay.
And I'm not a very good climber. Okay. And just a point to note, this is the third day, if you're now joining us, of our trip to DuPont.
Okay,
if you watched the previous videos,
does that mean easy?
on the first day we stopped in, let's see what I forget that first place is called. I think it's Arrowhead. There's another place beside it. I'll tell you later on once I remember what it's called. But Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fayetteville trails there. In Fayetteville, North Carolina. On our way down, we stopped there. All right, we're hail from the Morgantown, West Virginia area. About a 6-hour drive down, 7 hours total drive. We were to drive straight to our destination in DuPont. So, as I was saying, we stopped a few places on the way down and rode. And that first place was in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And then 3 hours later, we stopped, before it got dark, stopped in Johnson City and rode a trail there. And it was pretty fun. It was a very, kind of reminding of our trail, West Run, was smack dab right in the city, in Johnson City there. But anyway, we're headed up, and this trail is made, or was built by Sorba, which stands for the Southern Off-Road Biking Association for the Tri-City area, which is Tennessee. I just call it Tennessee because it says TC. And so if you haven't before these, go ahead and to their website and go ahead and donate some cash to them. These trails are very nice, very well maintained. There's always someone, looked like someone was out here in that first film there, or that first scene there, getting the trails, make sure there's no trees down and stuff. You can see here, this is like pretty much straight vertical, going up in some ways. It's not a bad, most people hike this, I was told. They just hike right up. It should take you 45 minutes, and you could probably walk faster than I'm riding up the hill, okay? But the whole purpose of riding up is to ride down. It's really fast. And so this is called Pinnacle Mountain, if I didn't tell you before. And there is a fire tower at the top that we are going to ride to, and then we're going to take some pictures up there. And if I don't pass out first. I mean, of course I didn't pass out because I'm here now. But anyway, but you can see it's fall. The leaves are nice and orange. That smell, that fall smell that I come to love, that fresh air. And I just noticed I cannot barely stand being inside anymore. I used to just want to be inside.
That's what it is.
And if you had followed my YouTube channel before, you know anything about me. I do a lot of different side hustles. I'm a music producer, and then I do some wedding videos here
Yeah,
on the
that sounds like
side
a lot.
with my wife. She's a full-time photographer. We have our own photography studio in West Virginia there.
All right, cool.
And I used to sit alone remotely, working remote since 2007. I've not worked in a corporate job. Okay, so, I was used to being inside. I was hating life, just being inside. Started to get tired, and then had a life-changing event where I got 280 pounds and could barely breathe, and I luckily it was that bad, but I had appendix out. I had a bunch of waste, like meaty waste, kind of disgusting to
At least
talk
there's a lot
about
of
it.
flat places.
And so I had to dig my appendix out, so I had to do something. And basically, what I do, I stopped really eating very much meat. I only eat steak like one time a month, and it's very small, like 4 ounces or so. And I found just by doing that, my stomach does not hurt at all. And I eat a lot of oatmeal, a lot of vegetables, like a lot of vegetables, and basically the way they're seasoned. I know I'm getting off subject, but then I started riding the e-bike um, based on a recommendation from a friend who I also ride with. You'll look at some of our
Nice
videos from
sweet leaf
Snowshoe, Mike
or
from
fall smelling.
Wamsley's, the bicycle shop where I bought my e-bike from. You go down there, tell them you sent me so they can give me a bro code discount, which they never do. But yeah, but anyway, that helped me get my weight round from 280 down to 240-ish there, 240-ish. And so that definitely, blood pressure dropped a lot. Then I saw on the trail, I saw Roger riding in the wintertime. And I never went off trail like deep like this. We have like a nice, somewhat smooth trail called Roadside Trail at Cooper's Rock, West Virginia. I just stayed on that. That was good enough for me on the e-bike. And then I saw him riding a fat bike, so I said, okay, let me get a fat bike. Let's not be too hard, And then didn't really see him too much until that next summer. And I was just riding the fat bike. So I started riding, I was riding the fat bike on the, on the roadside trail. It's like 6 miles loop, whatever. And he said, oh, just come with us. He and another guy we ride, Liam. And I followed him down the trail. I was like, whoa, my God, where are we going? My back was just jarring, and because I had the hardtail, the Trek Farley, that you saw that in 2021 Trek Farley. If you look at my videos, you'll see some reviews on it. But that's the first mountain bike that I had that over the time I went off trail. Even though my e-bike had full suspension, I never went off like deep down in the trails, deep in the trail. I usually just rode that and then the rail trail. Like the nice smooth trail. I go, 20 miles on the e-bike. But this was like on another level. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you could ride this stuff. Where there's no trail, they call it single track or whatever. Black diamond, blue diamond trails that have no room. And then I kind of fell in love with that, and then I got a hardtail with a fork on it with some suspension. I was like, oh, okay. And then went to Pathfinder, and I saw this guy in there. I don't know who he is, but his eyes were just so happy when he was riding, or when he was in there. He had his full suspension. I thought I was doing good. I paid $1,300 for my Trans. I think it was Anthem or whatever. It's their top of line hardtail. I thought I was doing something, but everybody was just yawning. Yeah, right, buddy. You're nothing. You can tell. And I was like, okay, all right. Well, let me look at this, and this customer got me, had a high tower, so I bought the high tower. But unfortunately, the high tower sat all year, and because didn't understand the suspension, and different bikes are meant for different weights, and the high tower is meant for someone under 200 pounds, 220 pounds to be exact. That's how the suspension, the progression works. And so if I'm pedaling, it didn't really move because I was too heavy. And if I go up a hill like I'm doing now, say right now I'm riding the high tower.
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm
Nope, but
216
whenever
at the
go
moment,
anyway.
at the present moment. And so it's riding really, really well. And in some other video, you might see me riding the Slash or whatever, but I was supposed to be riding the Slash right now, but I had a mechanical failure on my Shimano brakes. The piston just started leaking oil when I was getting it ready. I rode down the driveway and the oil just starts spurting out of the piston. And so
We
all
come
my other bikes have
back
SRAM
down the
stuff, and I
same
don't have
way.
any tools or
Okay.
any bleeders or anything to fix the SRAM brakes. And so I was going to sell the Hightower because I like the Slash a little bit. I like the Slash better, and my Hightower was completely apart. So the night before we left on the trip, I was up all night long putting this bike back there. It was completely apart, just the frame. There's nothing in it, nothing. And so I put the Hightower back together using the stock Lyric shock. Some people saw it on I was selling on Facebook, trying to sell the frame and all the parts separately, so I could recoup some investment for the Slash. But the good thing I didn't, and I put it back together. It took me all night, and then some of the space I was missing some of the spacers in the bottom bracket. Actually, I'm missing some space in the bottom bracket right now, and I can feel the bottom bracket moving under me because the harder I pedal on that lowest gear there. And so, but anyway, the Hightower is doing really, really well now that I'm lighter. I'm just, it's not hard at all to pedal the hill. It's actually very capable, and I'm not going to sell it now. I was going to sell it, but I'm just going to keep it as a backup bike or use it as an endurance bike like this for um, rides over, say, 25 miles, 25 miles when I'm climbing. It's easier to climb within the Slash. The Slash I'll ride by myself or at the bike park when I just want to get rowdy, like on some black diamonds where I live, or go to snowshoe and I want that feeling of on the jump trail of getting launched with a lighter bike. And so, but anyway, that's why I'm riding the Hightower right now, and so far so good. This is the last day; it didn't break on me or anything. They have the Axis, all dropper post, Axis, drivetrain, the 52 Eagle drivetrain, Lyric stock. It's a stock Lyric fork, missing the high speed compression, separate compression knobs that the Fox has on it, or even the Zeb has on it as well. But it's doing pretty good. And the Lyric, it does really good. It's doing a really good job because I think it does it for you, but I feel like I need a little more compression on the top. The bottom, everything was nice and smooth. Surprisingly, even though I haven't rode used that fork in like a year and a half. And the rear shock is like the stock deluxe, which it always does a good job. Before it would smash, I would need when my weight was over 200 pounds. And when my weight was over 200 pounds, or 200, when I was over 220 pounds, that is, I would need 230 pounds of air. But it's weird. It's like magic. Once I went below the 20 pounds, 220 pounds to 216, the shock just worked now. Like it holds me up at the weight it's supposed to be. So I can put I think it's 220. Put 220 air pressure. Okay, anything over that, I needed like 300 pounds. It's weird. It just broke that progressive restriction, and so pretty cool. So it's riding. It's like I'm floating. And I don't really need. I was going to replace it. The shocks and everything. Now at the beginning, like I'm going to replace this with a new Lyric, with a Buttercup, but I'm thinking I'm going to keep it the way it is. It's working really good. So as long as I keep my weight down low, I'll try to stay under 260. I'm trying to get lower. I'm trying to get to that 210 mark. I don't think I can get below that because my muscle. I think I'll have 0% body fat if I do that. My army days, that's how much I weighed with like 2% body fat at that time when I was in the military. So I just can't get that small. So, but anyway, we're moseying along here, and it's not very fun right now. At first, it was okay for the first mile, but You see Larry leaving me in the dust. Roger's behind me, and that's what I've started to get irritated. And I got mad at Roger. I know I'm putting it out there. I know. Oh,
Whoa.
almost slipped off right there. The ground broke. I was getting kind of eyes getting kind of blurred because I was tired. Like getting tired, and see Larry's moseying away up the hill. And I'll tell you a little about Larry. Larry rides very long. He's a gravel racer, and just a freaking monster. Like on these trails, like he's not even going like a third of the speed that he goes. He's just moseying up the hill, and his legs are so strong. Like he's taught me some techniques about the pedaling in a harder gear, and that's actually helping me. I thought my legs would explode because usually I spin like really fast and put it on the lowest gear, the highest gear, and just spin as hard as I can when I'm going uphill. But he told me not to do that, and I thought I would die, but I'm not. So I'm pedaling in a very hard gear, harder than I normally do. Like I think I'm right in uh, the middle cog, and I'm still going up the hill. Legs are burning, but they're not. My heart rate is not as high. Like my heart would be like 180 right now if I were just spinning like I normally do. And I probably had fell out by now. But right now I'm just using my muscles or whatever just to get up. And I'm getting up the hill and my heart rate is really low. Maybe because I'm not spinning my legs as fast. Um, and so like 150, 140 instead of 180, like it normally is, doing these types of things. And so I'm not saying I'm not getting tired. I'm just lucky he stopped like right here, I believe. This is really steep section, and it just pushed the limits of my ability. I was about to stop, but then we were at the top. It's just how it goes. This grade was really steep right here. So, and Larry stopped a few times so we could rest. But yeah, Larry can ride a very, very long distance. He does gravel races over 150 miles. And he told me he did one that he did 12,000 feet of elevation. It's crazy. 13,000 feet in one race, 150 miles. And so it's like I'm like that. He's like varsity. Like even Roger behind me, they're like varsity. I'm like JV, freshman JV, not the other JV. If you had three teams in school, like that's me. And so Roger's behind me, so it's like I can't fall back and stop because he's behind me. He's like, "Come on!" You're pushing. I can feel him, from past rides. You can't stop. So I'm like, he's like pressing me forward, and then you see Larry up ahead. So I'm trying to get up there and trying to keep up without
You
falling back.
probably
So I'm
run
like
faster
sandwiched in
than
the
I'm
middle.
riding.
Not very fun, to go. So I know, so I know they're kind of waiting for me, like they're kind of like feel like kind of protecting me from myself from stopping. Okay, so I don't make them stay out here too long. And that's how Roger's been doing the whole time. He tried to act like he wasn't, but I know that's who he was, so I could keep going. Um, and so, but anyway, in see that guy running up ahead. That must have been an Iron Man or something. Because this is pretty steep, and he's running faster than we're riding up the hill. I'm pretty sure he does this probably every day. Looks like. And so that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I think we're almost, not quite to the top. And like I said before, if you're watching this, this is not on YouTube. This is going to be on a separate site that for those that are truly interested, in the long video. It's better video quality as well. You can watch it there. It's just easier to maintain. And let's see. You can see the leaves there. GoPro makes everything look really flat, and that's a very steep drop-offs there on the side. As I said before, we had ridden. This is our first time riding today. We woke up not that early. We just left DuPont, Brevard, North Carolina, where DuPont is, about 3 hours ago, and I'm not that tired, believe it or not. I was the day before. I should be in massive sleep deprivation because I was supposed to get my rest because I was just designated driver, and but luckily I had these things called mushrooms, but they're not the bad mushroom, not the hallucinogenic mushrooms. They are the something my wife found on Amazon, and they kept me awake. I've been pretty much on from the first day awake for almost 49 hours, and I drove. I was putting the bike together. I was awake all day, put the bike together all night long, got it ready just in time to meet these guys at 9 o'clock. Okay. And drove all the whole way without falling asleep till the last 30 minutes to when we got to John's because of these mushroom things. I guess I'm turned to a hippie or something, if I can allow to say that anymore. Okay. But anyway, this is the halfway point. I know, so you don't see, my thumbs up. Can barely talk, and so we rest here for maybe about 5 minutes or so, 5 6 minutes, and till we head to that last section of the Pinnacle Mountain Trail. Larry and Roger taking pictures. And there's actually a fire road, as you can see there, or a road you can actually drive up. You don't have to walk. I think most people just drive up to this part here, park, and then walk the rest of the way.
Last time, right?
And they say it's 48-minute walk, but I think it would take longer. It's taking us longer than to ride up. I think it took us about an hour to ride up to the top here. With stopping and stuff. And so I think from here, if you park here, it'll take you about 40 minutes. So the trail is only about 5 miles. They say 4.5 miles.
Resuming.
And this section here, it makes you feel like you've got somewhere. Now you're going downhill for a little bit, but then when I realized I don't want to go downhill, I just want to keep going.
Like
So you got to ride down, and then you got to go back up to make up for the elevation you just lost. So, but the breeze felt pretty good going down this hill here. And I can't see the path. I'm glad Larry's first because
I mean, we
I
got to
can't
ride
see
back up it
the
too.
trail at all. Where these leaves are beautiful, but kind of dangerous because you can't see, don't know what's on there. Could be a hole or some acorns or whatever.
Ooh, cold down
So
here.
there's other trails in this area that's actually attached to this one. We just did this particular one just for to get to the view. These guys want to show me the fire tower and get the view at the top. A little speed here. And so I'll put chapter markers where you see if you don't want to see me Babylon and see the rest of the climb. But I like showing this to people to let you know that I'm actually actually for myself. Now it's not a bragging right or nothing. It's just I like seeing myself
Make it
progress
feel like
to
you're almost there, but
like
not
I'm
there.
normally would ride an e-bike, and actually I had in the car. I didn't think I was going to make some of these trails. We rode a lot, and I thought I was going to fall out, but I didn't, based on the techniques I was telling you about that Larry was telling me. If you look at him riding, we're going, man, this is a pretty good grade, and he's pedaling, but he's not up his he's pedaling in a very, very high gear. Like he's almost on the bottom cog, but this is like almost works. See me, I'm trying to copy him, but I can't. I'm switching him down, but then my heart rate goes up. See, it's like a catch-22, So I need to get my legs stronger. I think there's no way I'll be able, unless I start riding 150 miles and stuff like this, like Larry. But the stamina is unbelievable that he has. You see me right there. He's just going. I'm like, oh, my legs are burning. But then we get to this flat section, little flat section for about 20 feet, and then it goes up again. So it gives you a place to rest here. That's what made it actually doable. I had actually anxiety, butterflies in my stomach. I was going to really sleep last night thinking about this trail because they were telling me about it, and it wasn't too bad in retrospect. Yep, and so Hightower is doing very, very well. I don't even have the climb switch on either. I was going to put the climb switch on, but it seems to pedal better without the climb switch on. I had it on And we were, yeah, the other day we were at DuPont because it was just so steep. And the rock, it was like we climbed to this rock. It's like they call it Big Rock, and I had put it on then because it was smooth. It seemed like this climb switch is only meant for smooth, really smooth paths. Even if there's rocks or something, like it knocks you around, kind of like you're on a hardtail, you know. And so, anyway, you can see my little bell there. I didn't have to use it. I actually have a bear spray. Didn't see any bears. I saw bears last time I was at DuPont. I rode a canoe there on my e-bike. And then I had, since there's no e-bikes allowed at DuPont, like the main parks there, um, I decided to bring some bear spray because I thought I was going to fall out, but I did not, though. I feel like my legs got really strong like the past few days, or they got acclimated. I'm not saying they're strong, there's more to my legs than I thought. I thought that they couldn't do this. And so, but maybe because Raj is behind me and then Larry's in front. I think, you know, you have those guys motivating you just being there. It was a nice temperature too. It's like only like 50 degrees, I think. And that's pretty good. Like, if it was hotter, I don't know. In this temperature, so 50 degrees is like, it's equivalent to, say, 70 degrees. So my body temperature is probably 20 degrees higher than what it is. So if it was 90 degrees, my body would be like 110 degrees. And of course, I'll be riding very long. You know, I need a lot more water when I'm riding. So it was a nice temperature to ride in. Again, I just can't wait for the descent here coming down. So that's also keeping me going too. And then we got we're going to eat after this in Johnson City down the road there. We're telling about the shrimp and grits. I forget the name of the place. It was called Label in Johnson City. Had some breakfast stuff in there. And decided to eat some meat, which is the fish for the first time, since it was the last. It need to be the last rides. And when that sitting in my gut. Yep, just sitting there festering away. I just can't process the meat anymore. And to be honest, during my whole life, I think this meat just hurt my stomach. And that's what we ate in my house, you know. And I thought that was probably normal. You just get used to it. You're just like, oh, my stomach hurts. Oh. But I think since I was a little boy, my stomach always hurt from meat in it. Like, I think I just have like missing some enzymes or something. And just finally, I would eat it. You feel horrible. And I'm not saying not to eat meat because I eat chicken. You know what I'm saying? The chicken doesn't hurt my stomach, but just the beef does for some reason. And so, I mean, I eat a lot of food growing up. Like, of course, hence why I was 280. And so, there you see, they have little green diamonds to guide you along the trail. I don't think you'll get lost here. Maybe if you're riding at night or something. I don't know if this park is open at night, but it looks like they had reflectors on those green signs there. But there you have it. We're almost just about there. What other places did we ride? I'm just giving you a little taste in case you didn't see the other ones. We rode Fayetteville Park in North Carolina. Actually, let me see what that actually is called. It wasn't called that, actually. It was called... Let me do my ride logs. Go to Trail Forks. The first day we rode Wolf Creek. I'm sorry, I messed that totally up. We rode Wolf Creek, which is very, very nice trail. A very, very nice trail. That was the first stop. Okay, that was about 2.5 hours away from Morgantown, West Virginia, because that was our first stop. And then we rode pretty much every trail in there. Not too bad in elevation or anything, but very flat, flowy. Yeah, some punchy climbs there, but it was very, very nice. Congratulations. Thank you guys. The trail crew and gals who made that happen. That was really nice. I'm glad we stopped there. And then we stopped at Tannery Knobs Bike Park in Johnson City. Okay, and then we rode. The next day we rode the whole almost every single trail in DuPont State Recreational Forest for the most part, all the hard ones anyway. And then we did that. It took all day long to do that. It was about 25 miles, 25, 30 miles we rode. And I'm glad we did. That was very, very nice. Of course, then we finished off with a ridgeline, which I did on my own last time, but I only did that only. So it was like only 6 miles. But with these guys, we did more trails. 25, actually 20 miles more than I would have done if I was by myself. Okay, and then saw some waterfalls and stuff there. It was pretty nice and beautiful. Then, of course, today on our way back home, we did the Pinnacle Mountain Trail, which is about 10, which is what this video is, 10.5 miles. And then this particular trail is called the Pinnacle Mountain Tower Trail. And then the last stop was the New River Gorge Trails at Arrowhead.
Oh my God.
So that's basically, but believe it or not, we didn't really ride any Arrowhead trails. It was in the area. Arrowhead trails were there. But, so basically that's what we rode. So it was a pretty nice time. So let me add up the distance. 15 miles. 40, 50 miles. So 60 miles. So we rode a little less than 60 miles in 3 days. So that's the most I've ever rode. So if I did that on my own, I'd probably take a day break or 2 days break in between each trail for, even with 20 miles, I would, But my she wasn't destroyed or anything. Like, I thought it'd be like totally destroyed. And I think it's just because of the techniques, the climbing techniques, to not spin my heart out with my on those lower gears, and use the harder gears as much as possible, and use the leg power, the natural leg power I have in my legs, which I didn't know I had. So thank you, Larry, for those tips, and I'm going to continue to do that because I know I could ride a lot longer, triple the length that I normally do. That's 3 times I ride through just by using those techniques. A lot more. It's like a lot more burning in the legs, but definitely more enjoyable than having your heart rate spin out and head about to explode from cardio overload. But anyways, let's see. Just about there. Let's see how far we have left to go. We get about another 100 feet or so. I skipped some sections, but I just wanted to show you the whole trail. In case you want to just ride for that second, you don't want to start directly at the bottom. It's still a nice ride from there. I mean, from where we stopped. That's like the 2.5 mile point. So it's like a 5 mile trip from that lookout section where you saw us stop for a second. And so I am grinding hard there on a lower gear. Now on the way back down, I'll shut my mouth so you can see. And in the post on the website, you can see the pictures at the top of the iron fire tower there. My GoPro had shut off because it was kind of cold, so it was colder at the top. The higher you go, the colder it gets. So like at the bottom is like 50, actually it was 60 degrees, a little less than 60. And then it got colder and cooler as we went up to the top. And so I think it was almost like 45 degrees. And so the GoPro was like, I don't think so. I'm going to turn, not enough power, and it turned off as I was climbing the stairs, and I didn't realize it till now, till I uploaded. It's like, where's my pictures of me climbing the stairs? And then I had a view on the video, but it's not there because the video stopped. And GoPro said the new GoPro 10 wouldn't do that, but it does. It just can't take colder video. But anyway, okay, so some people have, or some of our viewers have asked, what type of bikes am I riding? I think I told you at the beginning, I normally ride my Trek Slash or my e-bike. I have a S-Works Turbo Levo, a 2022 version, and a 2018 version when I ride just rail trail. Or you might even see me on electric from time to time. Very seldom. Okay, so, but Larry, he's riding a stump jumper. I don't know a specialized stump jumper. It's a, he said he's had it for quite a long time, I think for 5 years or so. So, let's see, probably 2023, 2017, 2016, Stumpy there. Roger is riding a Ibis Ripley. Okay, the newer Ibis Ripley. And so they seem to like their bikes pretty well. So I know Roger also has a Ibis Ripmo, which I feel, in my opinion, he climbs better on that one for some reason. Because when he's on that one, I just cannot keep up. Like, I think it's just the progression or something about the way the geometry is or whatever. But I think he has a little harder time on the Ripley, even though it's supposed to climb better. And according to some of the reviews, is when he brings his bike around, I always look it up, look at the specs, and even on Larry's bikes, I look up the specs to see, if there's something I can do that I can increase my performance. Like, should I get a Ripley too, or should I get a stump jumper? But the Hightower and the Slash have done well. As a matter of fact, the Trek, to me, are the most, for my fluctuating weight, are the most forgiving and the most comfortable and the most thought out bikes that I've ever ridden. Yeah, so, and I just say that because I have a lot of bicycles. But the Hightower here today is doing a very fine job as long as I keep my weight under that 220. Because once I hit that weight, that it just goes really, I just cannot, the shock stops working. I need to pump more air into the back. So, anyway, those are the bikes that we are riding. And I believe we are almost to the top. When is it going to get there? And when are we going to get there? And so, this is last little climb here. I think it gets a little flat here. And I think this is like the second one where I almost gave up climbing. But we're making it. We make it. We're making it. We're making it. Okay, so, and then some have asked what kind of iPhone holder am I using? And the answer to that, I'm using, of course, the SP Connect. I used to have a case for it, but when I try to put it in my bag or inside I have this pouch that I have, the case gets in the way. Or if I want to sit it down or on the table, it's kind of weird. And so I got this iPhone holder where I can just unscrew the iPhone holder version, where I don't have to put a case on the iPhone. And it works very well, as you can see. It has like a vibration dampener on it to stop I guess to give it more, suspension, like a little suspension. You can see it's kind of wobbling around a little bit, because when I hit a rock, it doesn't like just knock it off. It'll just absorb some of the rockiness and some of the bumps.
Oh,
all right, and what kind of shock do I have on the Hightower here? I have just the stock Lyric. It just has the one dial compression knob, and it came with the bicycle. It has the matching graphics that match the Hightower. Pretty cool. And then the wheel set I have on this, when I bought the bike, I upgraded the wheel set because they were not very good. Uh, because I had problems before with cheap wheels, and I do not skimp on wheels, and neither should you. Especially if you're a bigger rider, you need the strongest hubs you can possibly find, and those are, and I will stake my money on it, my name are the Industry 9 hubs, or the Chris King hubs, or the DT Swiss 240s. Okay, and as of this riding, I've also going to try out the Noble Classic hubs, not the Vesper, because those are only for people under 200 pounds. The quiet hubs. And there's a reason for that, but I won't get into that right now. In another video, I will. But I'm riding the Chris King Reserve wheels by Santa Cruz, so I upgraded those when I bought the bicycle, which added another $1,500 onto the price. And so I think it was $6,500 for the bike itself, just stock, and then another $1,500. So that brings it to $8,000. And this was back in 2020. I bought in December 2021, and I received the bike in January, like 8th, 21. No, 2019 actually.
That it?
Yeah, 2020. Yeah,
right.
That's when I bought it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. Anyway,
we
made it to the top. Larry still, that didn't face him at all. I'm about to die. I need some water. I have sweat coming out of my eyes and whatnot. So Rogers is taking his time, and I've learned never ever to pick on Roger or anything like that. He's riding like slow, but he is not. He is not tired. Okay, don't believe him. If you ever ride Roger, don't believe him. What he's going to do, though, and I'm going to pick on him a little bit, is he's going to conserve his energy. And then on the way back, he will freaking just destroy you on all the climbs. He just conserves his energy, which he should. It's smart, actually. It's a really smart thing to do because he's a very skilled rider. Very skilled rider. Believe it or not. Very, so don't think you're going to beat him. I've never tried to beat him one time. Just can't. Okay, we're riding together. Okay, so anyway, we're climbing up the fire tower, and this is where I wish I had the video at the top, but it cut out. But I'm going to put some pictures in here, or you can see the pictures on the website or on Instagram. So we'll cut back down. This is a pretty high tower. I think it's probably 100 feet high, and it's pretty stable. I was a little worried because the wind is blowing and it's cold. It gets colder as you get to the top. I think it's 45 degrees. 15 degrees cooler than the bottom. Okay, I'm a little cold and I have the sweat. You feel that sweat getting, that chill from your sweat when the wind hits it. And so my legs are tired. Anyway, check out some of the pictures on Instagram and on Facebook if you're our fans. Or on my page if you're my friend on Facebook or Instagram. And you'll see the pictures from the top there. Okay. And okay, working our way back down. It's a little bit faster, but I don't have any energy. I'm actually very low sugar right now. I should have brought me a goo or a hammer gel or something. I don't have. I'm like very tired, very weak. So I'm just kind of taking it easy, but you kind of can't because this is a very steep incline coming back, and everyone else is fresh, like they're refreshed coming up. This took all my might basically to get up here without falling out, and it may not seem like it, but it did. And so now we have to go all the way back down, and I'm gonna be quiet for the rest of the way down. So you can listen to this because I ran out of stuff to say. So but anyway, it's pretty fast coming down, so you'll like it. A lot more exciting than coming up. So this is the entire descent from the top of the Pinnacle Mountain, the top of the Pinnacle Mountain Trail. And if you're watching it from any other place, like say Trail Forks or All Trails or MTB Project, it will probably start at the top. You won't see the bottom because no one watches the climb unless you just want to see the capabilities of the high tower or stump jumper or Ripley that Roger is riding and Larry's riding, and I'm riding. Okay,
Oh,
these some
there's
tight
another little whip
switchbacks.
there.
I wish they hope they put more depth in this stuff because it looks like
Uh-huh.
we're just riding full level. But that's the price you pay for stable video, and the video looks very, very nice. Very amazed at how small these cameras are, and they can get such beautiful picture with no noise or anything in the photos. Okay, so forgive me if you hear me cut out and get kind of snappy. It's just my sugar's low. I think I snapped at Roger a little bit because he was having a good old time coming down, and I'm always leery because I'm in the middle. Like I think I'm joking when I'm coming down. You know, like don't stay away. I'm staying away because I am scared. You know, very scared because especially when Roger's behind me. He just goes so fast, and he's like that downhill biker Greg Menard. I tell him to watch some of these things so you know what I'm talking about. The guy's like his size. Roger's like 6'6", believe it or not, 6'6", like 250 or 240 or something, 245. You know, today he's in good shape. You know, big, and it's a monster beast. And when he comes down the hill, he comes fast, and you can hear him. It's like a train. And it gives me lots of anxiety. And he's probably watching this right now to see if I'm going to have me going crazy, yelling. But I took it out. You didn't hear it. But I'm not mad. What I was trying to tell him is just to stay. See how I'm staying back from Larry in case he falls down or something. Because sometimes he'll slip. You know, the ground will come from under him on a rock. It does it sometimes. Not because he's unskilled or anything. It's just sometimes the ground is loose. And so I try to stay back at least, and that was anyone I'm riding with, at least about 15 feet. Okay, and I know this because my brakes are rated at 15 feet stopping power from any speed. So if I'm going 50 miles an hour, it will take about 15 seconds to stop from a 50 mile per hour pace. And so if you look at Strava, I think we were going 40 miles per hour at some points in this, and then if you're a heavier guy like Raj, he goes faster and faster. He'll be slow at first, but he goes faster and faster and faster, like a choo-choo train.
Don't do that, man.
Choo-choo. And you can hear him coming, and then he has like the worst.
Okay?
I'm gonna say it. I just need to put better brakes
Yeah, you doing
on
that,
it
man.
from stock. Like he has a
I thought you were really gonna hit me.
2-piston brake. I think Shimano or something. Diore. They're not even XTs. I don't think they're not even XTs or anything. He needs. And nothing wrong. They're good brakes if you're a light person. But I'm going to give him my brakes once I get them. Get them checked out. The ones on the Slash. Well, here I bought them TRP, and those should slow him down. And those are I think rated at for his weight. I think I saw a study on the internet. I think about 15 seconds too. They're about comparable to this. But when he's behind me, he's on my tire, rubbing my tire, man. He can't stop, you know. I'm not blaming him specifically, but it's just like, dude, if you can just stay back, but he can't because, you know, and he can control his speed. It's not like he's out of control or something. It's just he can't stop. That's all it is. And then, plus on this one, I have my blood sugar is like really low, and I'm just don't have any energy in my legs. I'm holding on, you know, but the high tower is really stable. I'm using that geometry to, you know, compensating for my instability here. You know, if I was in the Slash, no problem. It just stays straight, you know, without any help. But on the high tower, it's a lot lighter. I think I have it at 25 pounds. That's how light it is right now. I don't have any. See, there's no wires or nothing. It's I have the XX1, everything on the axis, wireless driver post, or not the wireless drive, but the drivetrain, a reverb. There's like no weight on this thing at all. And the other lyric just doesn't weigh anything at all either. And then just in the carbon wheels don't weigh anything. And so very light bike. And so you'll see we're going pretty quickly here. And just to give you a frame of reference with the Larry in front. And this is not Larry's top speed either, but I'm trying to keep up with him, believe it or not. His wheels, I got to ask him what kind of wheel set he's using because he just seemed like I'm standing still, and he goes faster and faster. We're just gliding. He's going ahead of me. See how fast he's going, like getting away from me. We're just gliding down the hill. You know, it's pretty steep. You know, very steep. Just to give you a frame of reference, I'm glad he's ahead of me. But right now, it's not quite. I think we're still toward the top here. You see, it's pretty. It's very hikeable. It's a very nice trail. It's not a dangerous trail. There are some sketchy parts, but like well, that's not. That's not like coming up. The first part before that we stopped. That's one of the most sketchiest places. Like you have those little tiny single tracks where the rock is coming off. Well, you saw me fall at almost.
Oh, yeah.
And I was almost back
Again.
I was back from the edge too, as far as I could go without pedal striking the side of the mountain. And it's just there was a rock there, and it just whoever Larry must have rode over, and then I rode over the second piece, and it was underneath, and it just broke away. You know. Anyway, there's a little bit of climb. That one climb where we went down from the parking lot. I think that's where we are now. We're about to get back to that parking lot, the second parking lot at the halfway point. So we need to climb right back up to it. Not that bad, but I'm done with climbing, believe it or not. So about 1,700 feet, not too bad. But for the distance it was, I think if you do the calculation, I mean that's almost 300 feet per mile. So if you take 5 miles, I think it's less than that, but I'm just going to say 5 miles for the sake of brevity. Take 5 miles and divide it by 1,700 feet. I'm going to do it right now. That's 340 feet per square mile. Okay, 340 feet per mile. Or 300 feet per mile. So that's pretty tough there, So I forget what Larry said. There's a rule of thumb. You want to do like 100 feet per mile, I think, or something like that. So if you do 10 miles, you need to do 1,000 feet to get a little bit better, to strengthen your legs. And so we're doing 340 feet per mile. And that's why I'm so tired. And so that's it too, And so you will be tired as well if you're not, a pro. But like I say, it's pretty easy. It's pretty smooth. You can see it. It's pretty nice. So I'm glad we're coming down. This is where the fun happens. And I'm having a lot of fun too. And then you can see, you can't see Roger, but he's right about behind me, man. I can hear him. I thought I was going to clobber at the bottom because I was just like lost. I'm not going to show because I feel bad. Like when I'm watching, I'm like, man, I was kind of mean to Roger there. I'm glad he's a nice guy because the way I talked to him was pretty bad. But I was just like low sugar, just like no energy, and scared as hell, Yeah, so anyway, I'm sorry. But still, it's like still bad. You got to maintain my composure when I'm doing this stuff. But anyway, coming down to a close. A few more minutes here. And you see a glitch, like I cut to. That's me yelling at Roger. So. He's a good guy, man. I love Roger, man. He's my hero. These guys both are my hero, man. I'm glad the trip. They're very understanding.
A few feet.
Very tough guys, man. Very, very tough. No frills. No BS. And it almost feels like we're kids, like he was saying. Like we feel like we're just little kids. It's like we can just leave everything behind, leave the responsibilities of being full-blown men behind, just for a few hours a day. For this weekend anyway, and then just be like we're 12 years old. Just having fun. Picking on each other, yelling at each other, having beers together, just a good, awful time. It just made me feel good. I almost have a tear in my eye right now. Actually, I do have a tear in my eye. Just think about this good time I had. And I'm truly blessed. Raj said we were blessed to be here, able to ride. He's correct, very correct in that matter. Just to be enjoying the nature, able to breathe. And I'm glad I'm able to share this with you. And if you can ride, go ahead and ride somewhere. You don't have to be far. You don't have to do anything like this. But you'll enjoy. If you can build your stamina up to ride this far, find you some people that can ride. They'll take you in under their wing. These guys took me under the wing. I'm nowhere near it. I'm like probably 40% where I need to be now, based from last year. You know, to be able to ride like without an e-bike. You know, but they waited for me. You was like, Russ, you did this about an e-bike. Yes, I did, but I mean, these guys are slowing down for me. You know, so and then kind of protect me from myself, from my own mental blocks that I have. And Larry and the goal, that's who I want to be. You know, these guys who I want to be. I want the strength of Roger, like the power that he has, and then I want the endurance that Larry has too. I want that. So I can see it, you know. I can feel the power behind me, like the motor, and I can see the endurance right ahead of me. It's like a piece of cheese that I'm a mouse, and there's like the piece of cheese that I can see, you know, but always goes farther. Like every time you think I'm doing good as Larry, but nope. He pushes the bar that much higher, and then you just can't catch him. You know, he's just mellow right now, not even going fast. You guys say they can't do downhill, but this is almost worse than downhill. Some of the stuff we rode this weekend, it's double blacks and stuff, and you guys took it no problem. And you see Larry riding the wall of his. How far he's getting ahead of me, just gliding. I'm still trying to pedal. I don't know what kind of hubs he has, man. He's just flying. So he's not pedaling at all. I don't have to pedal to keep up. It might still be the high tower geometry. I'm still pushing that 220, but I think the lighter I get, the faster my hubs will continue to roll. But he may have some friction with his hubs, and so I just ordered some Noble wheels the other day with the classic hubs, that is. Okay. I think I'm repeating myself now, and so they were talking and saying that they don't have any friction on them, so I should roll faster just by going downhill and not
one more.
take away the watts of power that I'm pedaling. The noise is cool as you hear. I think it helps people that the hubs make, like especially Injury 9. Those things are noisy. They have really good engagement, like instant engagement on the Industry 9. The Chris Kings have almost instant engagement. There's a little bit of good, but just enough. I think you kind of need it because the pedal kickback. You don't want it too instantly engaged, especially on this high tower, because the shock that I have is a stock shock. It's not like the EXC Racing or something like that on my shock. It doesn't, or the high pivot on the session or anything like that. So, but the Noble wheels are supposed to have instant engagement in completely silent hubs, and so that's supposed to hopefully make you pedal a little better and not go a little farther and get rid of some fatigue, and also when going downhill, roll a little bit faster without. Actually, should be getting faster as I'm going downhill, not the hubs creating friction. Especially in 89, they have a lot of friction on those because it has 690 points of engagement on those hubs. But anyway, I think we're getting to the bottom as we're going faster. Even faster. I think this is in the 40-mile-per-hour sections we were at. And it's absolutely terrifying because of the leaves. I already fell. If you watch some of the other videos, I already fell. Almost fell. And Larry caught me. He caught me from falling off the side of this rock. His legs, he's really strong, believe it or not. Because I should have took him down, but I was like, oh my God, we're both going to fall. I fell on top of him. but he just held strong, like it's like one of those trees right there. He's like, "I got you, buddy." And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna kill both me and Larry today." But he's that strong. You look at him. Don't underestimate anybody. I was like, when I first saw, like, yeah, you can't ride nowhere. You know, but man, this where was I wrong? This guy can ride forever, and uphill too. And so, I'm very fortunate that I'm riding with these guys. He keeps saying it, but I'm very grateful. I'm like kissing their ass or something, which I am. But I'm just hope they can, we still ride. I don't do anything. Sometimes I'm not a very social guy. I was telling you before, I'm trying to be more social. I spent a lot of time alone, especially since 2008. I worked remotely before there was really remote work. I'm working by myself, so it's like you start saying stuff, you don't realize you're hurting people's feelings. According to my wife, anyway, I like say stuff like, "What did you say that to him for? You need to be nicer to people." Like, I didn't say anything, But then you look back and like, "Oh man, I'm a freaking dickhead." What I just said, and so I feel really bad when I say stuff to people. Sometimes I have to just filter what I'm saying, because sometimes I don't realize I'm hurting some people's feelings. Because you spend time alone, you just become less empathetic to others. Others' feelings. And so, so sometimes when people are mean to me, I don't notice. I just think they're being normal. But my wife was like, "That guy was mean to you." I was like, "He was." you know, I could take a lot of mental abuse. Without even knowing it. I didn't, because I just was alone for like almost 12 years, working by myself. Anyway, let's see here. I think we have about a few more minutes. Okay, and then we'll be done. Almost to the bottom. The speed is a really fun part. Rogers is he's yelling, having a good old time. I'm having a good time. Adrenaline's coming back because when you're going downhill, it gives me adrenaline. It actually gives me energy when you go downhill, because I don't know what it is inside that makes the fear go away, or the excitement just gives you your energy back going down. Especially when you go fast. And so I'm a bit of an adrenaline junkie, just like these guys are. So, it's good to ride to somewhere, to go to the tower, this fire tower. That's the whole point. Go a place you haven't gone, that a vehicle or motorcycle can't go to, and also get some fitness, enjoy nature and the fresh air. Just really enjoy, the planet, the earth. Yes, I'm turning into a tree hugger. I don't want, the trees to go. I don't want the earth to die, or anything like that. So I'm not activist or anything, but if you were to vote on certain things, in the past I would vote for progress, but now I would vote for no companies, no buildings, especially in West Virginia. They were trying to build companies like, nope, go to Pittsburgh or go somewhere that's already developed. We'll ride up to Pittsburgh. West Virginia needs to stay the way it is. Put more trails in, more camping, more nature, so this plant will last a little bit longer before we mine all the ore out of it. Okay, so anyway, there was my political thoughts on that. And that's about it. Very simple. So you can see it's a long way down too. So it's not like a 3-minute ride down. You still got to maintain your energy. So make sure to bring some food or something if you ride this one. Bring like some granola bars or some hammer gels, because you'll need the energy going down just as well as coming up, especially with these tight turns and stuff you see here. And you're climbing a little bit on the way out, but it's not as bad because you're mostly going down. See, I'm like trying to copy whatever Larry's doing, but it's hard to do. Usually I would be on the lower gear. or yeah, the lower gear right now. Probably left behind, but I'm struggling just to in higher gears. Trying to put lower to conserve cardio energy. Use more anaerobic energy to be more scientific. We're flying right now, baby. Got a few tight spaces here in the trees. Need to cut my handlebars a little bit. My stem is a shorter one. It's 31.8. Honestly, the 35 millimeter stems and the what they call it, the stems are feel more stable, but I kind of like the 31.5 inch stems because it's a lot lighter. It feels more lively. But again, if you were taking steep trails, you want the burly stuff. You want the biggest bike you can possibly handle. You know, I mean, my big bike, the suspension. You want as much travel as possible.
I can see.
Like on the Slash, for example, I can pretty much climb pretty good, but up to a certain point, just as good as if you were on a hardtop bike, you get tired a lot faster because I have 180 travel on the front and then 160 on the back. So it's not like I would not be doing climbing like this right now very easily. I'd probably be resting a lot more or going a lot slower climbing. And so the high tower has 140 in the back and then 150 millimeter fork in the front. And I had a Cascade Components link. If you have been watching some of my past videos on, I just took it off because it was making a clicking noise. I couldn't get it to stop, and then I switched it back to normal configuration. It got rid of the noise. And the reason why I changed is to get more progression, so I don't have to run it less air. But the key is just to lose some weight, you know. So it's actually like a reward for me losing weight, keep my weight off to ride this bike, you know, to ride the high tower. You know, it's a boutique bike. It's very well designed. Well, kind of like a Yeti. It's like along the same lines of a Yeti. Like the Link, it's very stable. Almost like a downhill bike geometry, but with climbing abilities built in. But anyway, we are down at the bottom now. We made it back. If I haven't before, just go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you're watching this through the any other means, thank you for subscribing to that as well. And now we're off to get some food. And our last stop is the New River Gorge Trails at Arrowhead Trails in Fayetteville, West Virginia, not North Carolina. Talk to you later.